We're talking about creativity. Did you always think of yourself as a creative person? When did you kind of first come into that identity as like realizing that God had gifted you with creativity?
Well, there's a whole thesis there, right?
Okay.
First of all, I am pioneering my work with redefining what that term means. First of all, a lot of people think creativity is only artistry. And so
Yes.
in their
Yeah.
brain, they think, oh, I'm not creative. And because they're not excellent in the arts, they can't sing like Whitney Houston. They can't dance like, just like a famous dancer. So they're automatically counting themselves out. And my background is in psychology and education. And so the things that you say out loud, and that's also biblically based, things that you say out loud, your brain is recording, right? And so if you keep saying, I'm not creative, guess what?
You're not going to be.
Yes. So there's that issue. And then a lot of other people are dealing with creative, I'm calling it a term, I'm calling creative abuse, where even if it's something as a teacher or someone in authority may have said, your ideas are dumb or don't quit your day, just that one comment. I've met so many adults who are holding on to one comment that happened in the 10th grade that just shut down their ability to be creative, to offer creative ideas, or to take calculated risks and try new things. And so there's so many elements in that. And for me, you may, once I say it, you may start picking up, but I actually grew up with a speech impediment. I still have one now. And I went through years of speech therapy, many times couldn't even say my own name fluently.
Wow.
And that does a number on your identity.
Wow.
And who you think you are, and seeing all the opportunities to share your ideas, and you're just unable to get them out. And God has formed us as a communicative being. One of the things that separates us from animals is we're able to communicate at a higher level. And to be able not to communicate your ideas is very debilitating, and stressful and demoralizing at times. And so I struggle with that, even with the twin. I have a twin sister who won speech debates and everything. So if normally as twins you're compared automatically. But to have that comparison, that is just, even though she's brilliant, very kind, very, very smart, she's a scientist now. But, just culture or family compares you. So I dealt with that. And I thought I wasn't creative just because I couldn't communicate my ideas effectively. And it wasn't until I read a book called The Stutter Boy by Eric Gardner, just a little short book about, he's a man who lives in Santa Clarita now, and he stutters as well. And he just talked. It was a fictional book kind of based off his life, and this little boy with a stutter, and just going through and having problems picking up the phone and answering, and we get caught on answering machines, and there's just so many things that a person who speaks fluently doesn't even think about that we have to calculate. And I read that book, and I was like 35 years old, so I was an adult, and I just remember sitting on my floor just crying because I finally felt someone knew what I was going through or what I've been going through. And so that changed my relationship with my stutter, and also changed the way I saw myself. So I always thought I was creative, but just couldn't know how to communicate it well. And so I got into music, started playing the trumpet in the 4th grade, and that became my voice until I was able to get my speaking voice right. But it was that book that really just helped me. And I think God used that book. God just brings, sometimes the books, you don't choose the book, sometimes the books choose you. And God just brought that book and that revelation into my life of saying, almost with Moses, I built you on purpose. And the fact that you even had a stutter, that wasn't a mistake.
Yeah.
And people ask me today, if you could wave a magic wand and be born without a stutter, would you do it? And first I would say, oh, yeah. But now it made me think, would I be the woman I am today if I didn't have that struggle to go through?
Absolutely.
And now I use that as a superpower that I share. You may not have a stutter, but you may have something else that you struggled with that you now are empowered to face head on because you've seen what I was able to do.
Yeah, totally. Will you say the name of the book again, just in case anybody missed it?
The Stutter Boy by Eric Gardner.
Eric Gardner. That's awesome. What would you say to somebody who's struggling with either a natural born speech impediment or just a lack of confidence in their ability to communicate their ideas effectively?
I think everyone has something that they have dealt with, even if it's seen like a stutter or something physical, or if it's unseen like a mental or a cognitive or an emotional disorder. What I would say was, in my seven gems, I talk about perspective shifting and the power of perspective and how I had to shift the perspective around my stutter of saying, you know what, when going from a speech therapy room to the TEDx stage, that's a journey that I can claim that not a lot of people can claim, because there's a lot of people who've done TEDx, but who has done it like that? And I speak that to my students that I've taught in the past and now my current clients, that your struggle that you are with, you have for a reason to get stronger in certain areas and to show you different parts of yourself that you weren't even privy to before, and that communicates to people around you, to your family, that overcoming is an option, and you can reframe your position with things and be better off in the long run.